What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Axis of Combat podcast, episode 59. This week, we're going to be breaking down just one card, UFC Riyadh. With new headliner, we got Robert Whittaker, Ikram Aliskerov. We're going to break down these fights, give you some predictions, give you some bets, give you some picks. I don't know. As always, one half, it's your boy Ray Boogie Kahuna, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next, you already know. And before we get into any of that hoopla, you already know the routine. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
To kick off the prelims at middleweight, we got Sedriques Dumas, the Reaper, going one-on-one with Denis Tiuliulin. Dumas, 9-2, fighting out of Pensacola, Florida, 28 years old. Tiuliulin, 11-9, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 36 years old. Not Denis Tiuliulin's original opponent. He was originally scheduled to fight Abu Azaitar. Ended up pulling out. Dumas steps in. Low-level fight. We know what Tiuliulin does. He walks forward. He throws hands. He gets clipped. He got no wrestling. Dumas, on the other hand, he is the favorite, which is a little scary. But at least in the regionals, he's shown that he can throw. Since he's been in the UFC, a little more hesitant, a little gun shy. He can grapple, or he has been improving his grappling. I think Dumas is the side here. I think Tiuliulin is just, for lack of a better term,
Limited.
Very limited. I think Dumas gets it done here. I think Dumas gets it done actually with his grappling. Tiuliulin is just going to walk forward, is going to give Dumas plenty of opportunities to body lock, take him down. I think Dumas is long enough and decent enough to kind of control him on the ground. But again, low-level fight. I don't like taking Dumas as the favorite in terms of betting, but in terms of a pick, I think Dumas is the side here. What about you?
I'm with you here on Dumas. The first Reaper of the card, one's Dumas, the other one's Whittaker, and then we have Mr. Mayhem standing in back of my brother. So this is an interesting card in terms of the artwork that we have on the wall.
I'm gonna have to do a Reaper parlay, bro. I don't know.
And you know what? We'll get to that fight later. But I'm with my brother on Dumas. I think Dumas is probably gonna win this fight by decision. That's how I look at it, because Tiuliulin is living on the floor, but I feel like Dumas is still learning. He can get him there, but he doesn't really advance for ground and pound or submission attempts. He does throw up some submission attempts, but Tiuliulin has shown that he kind of scrambles. He's wiggly. The last two times he's been mounted, like back mounted, or just someone's gotten on top of him, he's gotten smashed, not subbed. So I'm going to lean Dumas decision. We'll see how it gets closer to fight time, but that's how I would, I guess, bet the fight, just to get Dumas's number down to plus money, because hopefully it's plus money, that decision. But we'll see as the lines drop, because we haven't seen them yet. So
next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have a Road to UFC tournament final featuring Xiao Long going one-on-one with Chang Li. Xiao is 26-8, fighting out of China, 26 years old. Chang is 9-1, fighting out of South Korea, 30 years old. This fight was originally supposed to take place, I think, in the beginning of February, but I think Xiao ended up having to pull out. Xiao, not his first crack at the UFC. He did show up one time to fight Quinones in the Contender Series, and he struggled a bit with Quinones' length and, his distance. Like, it was just a bigger dude. Chang Li, from South Korea, self-proclaimed Korean Khabib. He's all right on the ground, actually. I mean, his two Road to Contender Series fights, he ran over the first dude. The second dude actually gave him quite a bit of trouble.
This is number one bullshit.
Ended up gassing out, and Chang was able to take over late, get that win. Xiao, I think, has had the tougher path, in my opinion. I thought he fought the better two fighters on his way to the final here. fought 2 wrestle grapplers. So he spent half the time just fucking defending. I'm going to lean Xiao here. Because I think, first of all, I think he's younger. He's the guy I think the UFC kind of wanted in the first place. He's got more experience. I think he's got the better striking. I think he's got the wrestling defense to kind of take care of Chang here. Now, if it goes late, and maybe Chang could be live, maybe 3rd round, but I think more often than not, I think this fight's going to decision. I think it's going to go the distance. But I think Xiao is the side here. But it's literally, I think it's at pick-em odds. It's kind of dog or pass. But that's the pick for me.
Yeah, I'm going to lean on my brother here because I'll be honest with you guys. I did very limited film study for this fight, and I need a little more time before I can give an adequate answer up to my brothers. But everything he said was spot on. So as of right now, my lean is my brother's lean. So we'll on to the next fight.
Next fight at light heavyweight, we have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov going 1-on-1 with Brendson Ribeiro. Magomed, MG, perfect, 8-0. I know he was born in Dagestan, but he is repping Bahrain, 30 years old. Brendson Ribeiro, the gorilla, 15-6, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. This is probably going to be a little bit of a firework type fight, slobber knocker, for lack of a better term. I think Gadzhiyov's the side because he does have the wrestling. He's one of these Dagestani guys who, you see him, you think he's a wrestler. Nah, he prefers to strike. His wrestling is okay. It's not as clean as you would expect from that region of the country from him, but I think it's more than adequate enough to deal with Ribeiro.
Right, I agree.
Ribero's live. Not super live. He's definitely kill or be killed. He throws down the middle. He throws hard. He knows how to use his length.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be the bigger guy here, but he kind of doesn't fight smart.
Yeah, he's still very raw.
Yes.
He's still a very, very raw talent. I'll be honest, I think this is he should have gotten signed to a developmental contract coming off the Contender Series.
Yes.
Because he does have all the physical gifts, but 205 is lacking, and I think that's why he got pushed immediately, but he should get some more. He should have gotten some more regional fights. Not to say he's not live in this fight.
No, he's not.
He is super explosive. But I'm with my brother here. I think Magomed's going to get it done.
Next fight on the prelims at welterweight, we got the Gladiator, Rinat Fakhretdinov going against Danish Dynamite Nicolas Dalby.
That's my dog.
That's my dog. Fakhretdinov, 22-2-1, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old. Dalby, 23-4-1, fighting out of Denmark, hailing from Denmark, 39 years old. Banger of a fight. Close fight, in my opinion. As a pick, I'm going to lean Fakhretdinov, and I'm only going to lean Fakhretdinov because I do think he's going to be able to establish the grappling early on Dalby. I mean, Dalby's a tough son of a bitch, and Dalby will work his way up. But Fakhretdinov's one of those relentless chain wrestlers, grab a hold of the body part.
Good punching power, too.
Very decent punching power. Now, if this fight goes late,
Dalby late,
and you like the Dalby side, third round decision. I like both those plays. Because Dalby, again, tough son of a bitch. And then, as you've seen from the Fakhretdinov fight, his last fight against Dos Santos, where he worked him the first round, kind of couldn't really get him down after that. And then in the third round, gassed out.
And got 10-8'd.
And pretty much got 10-8'd because Dos Santos was able to clip him to the body, took him straight down, and beat the shit out of him. But, saved by the bell. I think that ended up being a draw. So
it was. Yep.
Fakhretdinov's the side here, but in terms of a play, I'm kind of leaning towards the Dalby third round decision, or maybe even Fakhretdinov decision. I can see split decision here as well. But Fakhretdinov's my pick. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I love Nicolas Dalby. He's won me so much money on this podcast, and you could tune back to previous episodes where I picked him against what's this dude's name? The Brazilian cat that they were just pumping hard, man.
Oh, Gabriel Bonfim.
Yeah, he rinsed him.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I called it. He was like a plus 500. And
listen, I mean, Dalby's a dog. Dalby's one of the few dogs I kind of like on this card.
Yeah.
So if you want to play him straight, fuck it. I don't even hate it. It's something I'm also kind of considering. There's not too many dogs here. There's a lot of pick'em fights. Some lines are a little wide. This one, I kind of got circled.
I agree. I'm with you here as a live dog play.
People gonna.
Oh no, wait, yeah, I think it's true.
Let's throw that on.
People gonna bleed.
Yep.
It's gonna get cut open.
Damn right.
And somebody might die.
Somebody might actually.
And
There might be some deceased people.
we're gonna put the dog on too. That's the one I actually meant to hit, so I apologize. But this fight is gonna be violent. Dalby, don't get his age fucked up. He's 39, but he is uber durable still at this level, and he's turning back a lot of kids still. Like it's crazy. He's older. He has a ton of fights, but it's like he moves like he doesn't have a ton of mileage.
I actually trust his durability more than
I agree.
Fakhretdinov's.
Oh, 100%, because Fakhretdinov's super weak to the body, and he gasses, man. I mean, like, Dalby's not going to get tired. He also won me money against the king of Kung Fu, which I appreciate.
That's right, Muslim solid call.
I faded him bad, and I live betted him on the double down. He stopped him in the third.
Dalby's been a bit of a money train for us from the betting side. You know what I'm saying?
He's a beast. I do like his third round here. Third round of decision, because he can squeak a decision because he is that skilled.
Maybe even second round, depending on how nice that line is. But
yeah, we'll see how it looks. But Fakhretdinov should be able to bang 2 rounds here.
He should.
Just with the wrestling. Yeah. But Dalby late. We're gonna hit that dog again. Where them dogs at?
Next fight on the card at bantamweight, we have Muin Gafurov. Sorry. Going 1-on-1 with Mr. Perfect, Kyung Ho Kang.
Not his record.
Gafurov, 18-6, fighting out of Tajikistan, 28 years old. Mr. Perfect, Kang, 19-10, fighting out of South Korea, hailing from South Korea, 36 years old. Good fight. Tough fight to kind of like pick a side here. I think this one is also very closely lined, probably rightfully so. I think it's probably going to come down to, if I'm being honest, who can establish the wrestling. I think Kang is actually better on the feet.
His boxing's slick.
But I do think Gafurov probably hits harder. But don't get it fucked up. Kang don't got knockouts, but he got a lot of knockdowns.
Ain't no half stepping with that boy.
Dude, he's clean. And I mean, you seen, I think, was it not his last fight? It might have been 2 or 3 fights ago where he fought Baccarel.
Yeah.
That was a complete stand-up showcase.
He worked him.
Jab, leg kick, like 101. You want to learn how to work the distance and beat a dude's ass from pillar to post? Watch that one.
Yeah.
Gafurov, though, his game plan is he wants to wrestle.
I agree.
He wants to grab a limb. He wants to bring you down. He wants to beat you up.
He's a hugger.
He's a hugger. He likes to hug. Striking not as clean, but he does pop. He does hit hard. He thumps. A bit of a wild man. Kang should be able to deal with the pressure. I think I want to lean Kang here.
I'm with you on this as well.
The only thing that scares me is that ever since Kang has come back from, his mandatory military service, is that he really hasn't done any kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to need it here because Gafurov, even though he's a good wrestler offensively, bit dog shit on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And considering where he's from and the part of the region of the world he's from, like, that's surprising.
Very surprising.
But Kang can also be taken down and also be controlled. So it's all about who controls who here. This could be a live bet spot. Gun to the melon. Give me Kang.
Gun to the melon.
Super necessary.
and it's scary because I do think if I like the striking and I just need him to get the wrestling going. But if you ask me, maybe Gafurov's got the better wrestling. I don't know. Maybe gun to the melon Gafurov. I don't know. This one's tough for me.
I'm going to lean Kung Ho Kang because I think he's the better fighter overall. But this fight, from a betting standpoint, might be a big stay away. I think there's a lot of other reasonable places on this card to put your money. But if you had to gun to the melon, as my brother said, I'm gonna lean Kung Ho Kang because I think he has the better skills. And
Chrome
I think,
to the dome.
Yeah, he hits his. I don't know what it is with the Korean boxing program, but it's phenomenal. Like every fighter out of the Korea boxing system is phenomenal hands, timing, precision, and I think he can catch him a few times. He does have a lot of knockdowns too, and that's how you win rounds in the UFC. So I'm gonna lean Kung Ho Kang.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we got Nasrat Haqparast.
Yeah, you got it.
Almost.
Haqparast.
Going one-on-one with Flash, Jared Gordon. Nasrat, 16-5, fighting out of actually hailing from Afghanistan, fighting out of Germany, 28 years old. Gordon, fighting out of Queens, New York.
Hold it down.
20-6 overall, 35 years old. And I said that one sucks because, you know, I'm leaning Nasrat here. I don't like picking against my New York dudes. I like Jared Gordon as a dude. I know he's got like a pretty interesting collective background, you know, in terms of like
addict, yeah,
his past. He's overcome a lot of hardships. I actually think he's decent. I still pissed off that he got robbed against Patty.
Oh, that was bad.
But I think Haqparast here, I mean, listen, dude's nice, man. He's got hands. He could possibly get a knockout here late because I think Jared Gordon's chin is kind of fading. I think he's on the wrong side of 36. Is he 36? 35. I apologize. I'm aging this dude. I just think Haqparast, I don't know.
I think Haqparast's going to overwhelm him with volume.
I think so.
It's going to be a lot. Jared's low volume. Like, not. Let me not say low volume. He's just not at near the volume level that Haqparast's going to throw at him.
I also think Nasrat's going to have footwork that's going to give him a problem. He's not going to stand in front of him. It's going to be hard for Gordon to get his grappling going, to get his wrestling going. Yeah, I think Nasrat's the side here. And it sucks because, you know, Queens, New York, I like Jared Gordon, you know.
He has to come out of this fight scathed because he fights later on this card.
Yeah, we're about to find out if Nasrat is twins or he's a clone or he might be the same person with Gastelum. We don't know.
Never seen him in the same room together.
Never seen him in the same room. We might see him in Riyadh. Who knows? We need a picture. We need confirmation.
Absolutely.
Next fight on the card at middleweight, we got Shara Bullet Magomedov going one-on-one with Joilton Peregrino Lutterbach. Magomed, perfect. 12-0, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 30 years old. Lutterbach, 38-10, fighting out of Germany, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. This Lutterbach guy, I'm going to start off with Lutterbach. He's an interesting character. First of all, he's Brazilian. He took his wife's last name because, quote, there's enough Brazilian representation out there. He wants to represent for Germany. Been fighting since I think he made his pro debut probably like around 18. Super young. He ended up 10 years ago on the Wanderlei Silver Chael Sonnen Brazilian Tough. Mm-hmm. Where his first fight was probably, I think it was so boring that it was literally just a highlight clip. They didn't show the actual fight.
Oh, man.
Not it was boring. Apparently it was tough. It was back and forth according to, you know, Wanderlei and Chael, and it went to a split decision. Then they showed his second fight where he actually ended up getting, not waxed, ended up going to decision as well, but he ended up losing a close decision. Ever since then, my man has like literally traveled the world. I think fought in almost every promotion imaginable. Trains out of Germany now. The ultimate journeyman. I think he's fought in every kind of sport you can think of. He's kickboxing, boxing. He's got a black belt in fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, some other shit I never heard of. Dude's the pretty much the jack of all trades.
Say you at the top.
But he's the master of none, in my opinion. But he's very good. He's fluctuated in weight. He's fought as low as 155 and as high as 185. He is currently fighting, what's middleweight here? Middleweight is 185. He's back at 185. His last fight at 185 was actually the fight that got Duplessis into the UFC when Duplessis was fighting in KSW.
Yeah.
He lost that fight, by the way.
You couldn't figure that out.
Lutterbach also fought in PFL for a short stint where he also, I thought he lost to, what's his name, Manifo. But he definitely arguably beat Clay Collard. Ended up losing 2 in a row. Left there. Now he's back in the UFC. This is a short notice fight. This wasn't Magomed's original opponent. Magomed's original opponent was Ihor Pretoria. So they were setting up a body for him.
Pretoria is pretty bad.
Arguably, this is probably a tougher fight. Because Lutterbach, I think, is actually pretty solid everywhere. He's got decent striking. decent grappling, decent wrestling, and he will mix in all three. What I don't like about Lutterbach is that he tends to fight with his hands low, leaves his chin straight up, and that's barbecue chicken for Magomed, low key. This is tough because this is another dog I'm afraid to commit here because Magomed is a son of a bitch. His
striking is wicked.
His power, his striking, his quickness, dude, he's a menace. But when you seen his last fight against Bruno Silva,
Silva took him down.
Bruno Silva took him down. Now, he whooped Bruno Silva's ass off his back, but he took him down. Lutterbach should be able to take him down. Lutterbach should be able to control him. I got a weird feeling. I think Bullet is going to win this fight. I'm going to lean Bullet. I might come around to a Lutterbach bet, but I might regret it.
It depends on the line because they haven't dropped the line yet because it kind of just recently got announced. So I don't see a line here. Yeah, I'm with you. I just think he's going to find his chin at some point.
He leaves it out there, man.
Yep. But there is a very glaring hole in Magomedov's game.
Yes.
It's glaring. And that's why if this line's disrespectful, I'll play it. Why not? It's a system play, low-key. If it's like a plus 400, 500, I'm playing the shit out of it. He might lose. I don't care. It's just like Maldine. You know, Maldine against Juliana Velasquez coming off of losing to 2 grapplers. I was going to play that shit. That's a system play. She was like almost plus 400. And she's way better than her on the floor. Worlds. She just couldn't get it there. So.
And Lutterbach can get people down, but he kind of tends to have a hard time holding people. So you give Magomed some space like Bruno did, he's probably going to get clipped.
Correct.
And he'll scramble up. So it's an interesting fight. This one I'm going to digest a little more, if I'm being honest. But
agreed. Magomed's the side, but I want to see the line. I really do.
Next fight on the card at welterweight, we have Kelvin Gastelum going one-on-one with D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez.
Nasrat.
18-9, fighting out of Yuma, Arizona, 32 years old. D-Rod, 17-4, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 37 years old. I just think D-Rod maybe is a little too old here. I like Kelvin Gastelum probably to get the win here. A D-Rod is technically the more cleaner striker. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wilding.
He has a good jab. He knows how to fight big. I'll give him that. I think Kelvin might have more tools in terms of the kicks and his ability to mix in the wrestling.
I just think Gastelum's the side. I don't know. D-Rod, I know it was against Ian Gary in his last fight. He just didn't look.
He looked a step behind.
Yes.
And
that might be just the Ian Gary because Ian Gary's just a young guy who's very quick with the hands. And
Ian also noted in that fight that D-Rod has a tell where he kind of drops his hand, so that's how he kind of set up the head kick to get him out of there. So,
and at 37 years old, is he gonna fix that tell?
That it's a bad habit. Even DC, like when DC fought John Jones the second time, John Jones kept saying, "Dude, you drop your hands when there's a kick thrown to your head because you're trying to catch the kick to get your opponent down to the floor." And John Jones was able to exploit it. Is Kelvin Gastelum as high IQ as John Jones? Probably not. But he does have real punching power, and he does have the wrestling edge here, in my opinion. So I think he can connect. You could argue, I think with outside boxing, D-Rod has the advantage, but with the inside work, I think Kelvin Gastelum probably has the faster hands.
So it's basically this fight's about who can get their distance.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Who can manage their distance better? Can Gastelum get in? Can D-Rod keep him out? Do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight finishes?
I don't know, because Kelvin at this stage of his career, it's a hard tell. He's just fought the who's who, though, man. He's got the better brand of competition. He's younger. I think he has the wrestling upside. I think that's why his line is above minus 200 right now, and I think it's rightfully so.
Next fight on the card at light heavyweight, we got Johnny Walker going against Volkan No Time Oezdemir. No time. It's been some time since I've seen him. Walker, 21-8, fighting out of Brazil. Actually fighting out of England, hailing from Brazil, 32 years old. No time. Oezdemir, 19-7 overall, fighting out of Switzerland, hailing from Switzerland, 34 years old. Man, I want to believe in Johnny Walker so bad.
We all do.
You know, I like him as a character. I like his highlights. I like his post-fight celebrations. I think outside the octagon, he's actually a funny guy. I think Oezdemir is probably going to win this fight. It's just that Oezdemir, I trust the IQ. I trust the experience. He's definitely going to be at a size and reach disadvantage here, but listen, I can't trust Johnny's chin.
Yeah, and we can trust Oezdemir's because he's literally gotten cracked by Bogdan Guskov his last fight, winded up subbing him. Nikita Krylov, he took some big shots in that fight, went to decision. Magomed Ankalaev picked him apart, went to decision. I mean, this dude he's fucking durable. He used to be Rumble Johnson's sparring partner. You can take punches from him. You can take punches from anybody, in my opinion.
I think he's only been knocked out once, maybe?
Jerry,
yeah.
Jerry slept him bad.
I mean, technically he's got a TKO, but I think that was some Cormier ground and pound, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He just Cormier crucifixed him and then just did the hug attack, and then just started hitting him on the head.
I mean, listen, Johnny, again, he's got all the potential and all the athleticism in the world. He could pull one out the hat here. He could.
It's just he doesn't do a lot of things fundamentally correct.
Yeah.
Then the thing is, now he's trying to fight too reserved and smart, as opposed to kind of letting it go.
Yeah, he needs to find a balance, I think.
Yeah, I think he's at that balance, but I think he just needs to accept what he is, and I think that's just a wild fighter. He's just a wild fucking fighter.
Yeah, he's just a wild fighter with no shit.
He doesn't work behind the jab.
A glass cannon. That's what he is.
That's what he is. He doesn't work behind the jab. I wish he would go to his kicks more, and I wish he would I wish he would learn a semblance of wrestling like his brother. If he learned that, who the fuck is he not taking down this division?
Yeah, if he had some wrestling chops,
my goodness,
he'd be a problem.
And good luck.
It would probably save his chin a bit too, to be honest. It hide the deficiency he has there.
Correct. But granted, even with that, taking down Oezdemir's,
it ain't no easy task.
It ain't no easy task unless you're DC. So I love Oezdemir in the spot. I feel bad fading my guy like you, but it's just I'm tired of losing money on long shots.
It's kind of curious because they got this as a pick'em, and they got Oezdemir as a slight dog.
Oh, that might be that's a system play. That's a system play in my opinion.
Why?
I don't know how people can. I'm not understanding why it's lined like that.
Because he's slower, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm kind of curious why the books decided to line that like that.
Thing is, he took some time off and he looked good his last fight.
I mean,
he moved well against. I know it was against Bogdan, but his footwork, his ability to get to the wrestling, his ability to slip punches in. I'm surprised.
I guess maybe because he struggles against. I mean, his last 3 losses against Krylov, Ankalaev, and Prohashka. I'm assuming those guys are all bigger than him.
Yeah,
I think Krylov is bigger than him, right? Let me see. I could find a measurement.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Magomed's a nightmare for anyone. Probably going to be a future champion, right?
Not even that much. 6'3" to 6'2", 77 to 75.
Krylov just kind of outdogged him in that fight, and I think Oezdemir was also dealing with some injuries in that fight, and then that's why he took a lot of time off after that fight. And then the what was the other fight? Jerry just pressured him.
Yeah, Jerry's. Yeah.
And by the way, he had success against Jerry. If you watch that fight, he did connect a whole bunch and wobbled Jerry, wobbled him, hurt him. Jerry just did Jerry shit and did some samurai shit and cut him down as the fight went on. Caught him with a big shot, knocked him clean out.
The thing is, I feel like he's the smaller guy in almost all his fights. He was bigger than Latifi because everybody's bigger than Latifi.
I just don't know how you can trust Johnny Walker at this point. I think I pick him odds. You have to go Oezdemir. I'm just there, So and the wrestling upsides on Oezdemir too.
Yeah,
come on, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Homeboy took him down. Kudalaba, and Kudalaba's smaller than both these guys.
Yeah, I think Oezdemir might be worth a dog shot here. I didn't realize he was a dog.
That's surprising.
You asked me, I thought he'd be the favorite.
Yeah, that's a surprising line.
Co-main event, and we got some big old heavyweights. I couldn't wait for this one, baby. Sergey Pavlovich, no nickname, 8-2 overall, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old, going 1-on-1 with Drago Alexander Volkov, 37-10, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 35 years old. So we got some civil war going on here, Russia versus Russia. Interesting fight.
I love this fight.
Interesting.
It's the right time to make this fight.
Yes. I mean, Pavlovich needs to step up.
That side of the world, too, by the way.
Volkov, yeah.
It's right there. Not skipping a jump.
They're probably gonna have some family on both sides coming through. It's gonna be probably nice and loud over there for both guys.
Absolutely.
I like Volkov here. I think, and I only like Volkov here because dude is big. Mm-hmm. He knows how to use his length. He's durable as shit. He's only been really knocked out by one guy. Pavlovich, I don't want to say he got exposed. He didn't look too hot against Tom Aspinall. He looked okay until he wasn't looking okay. His last loss before that was against Overeem. And it was weird too because they kind of got into like a clinch exchange. Overeem ended up doing like a outside trip kind of thing on him. It was weird. It was just a weird exchange where Sergey ended up hitting the ground. Overeem followed and it just beat the shit out of him on the ground. Besides that, Sergey's been first round or bust. Not even bust, just first round. Yeah. My man don't leave the first round. His home is the first round.
Correct.
And his home is the KO. What's on your mind here? Because I want to lean Volkov here, but it could be a little scary.
I want to lean Volkov too. He's only been knocked out by Derek Lewis. And Derek Lewis connected on him multiple times in that fight before catching him with the big one.
And that was in the third round.
It was like a Hail Mary knockout. So, yes. I think this guy Volkov is probably one of the most avoided guys in this division. I think he is got the measurables for this division. And you've seen him in there with Bam Bam, and I'm not saying Bam Bam is Sergey because he's not, but Sergey, kind of a flat-footed fighter, doesn't really move in and out, kind of just unloads, and you kind of see him get exposed by Tom Aspinall. There's a formula out there to beat this guy. I also like Volkov's ability to teep kick here. He's very good at it. He's very good at it. He knows how to fight big.
Volkov's one of those guys that he could use his kicks to fight all the way on the outside, or he can cage push, fight all the way on the inside. I think the key is not to fight in that boxing range, because if he's in that boxing range, that's where he can get clipped, and that's kind of the mistake that he made with Derek Lewis.
Correct.
Because Derek Lewis, he was able to push him all the way back.
Correct.
And then when he wasn't pushing him all the way back, he was all up on his ass.
Correct.
So it's like, I think he has more ways to win, technically, in my opinion.
And Sergey's better than Derek Lewis too. I know you know that. We both know that. But if you want the real, we haven't seen anything from this guy's game. And the thing is, the one time we did see him flat on his back, he got fucking smashed. He literally got fucking smashed.
There's some question marks.
There's a lot of question marks. And the grappling, and I'll even go as far as the wrestling upside, is on is on the Volkov side here, man.
I agree. I mean, look what he did to Tuivasa.
Yeah, look what he did to Tuivasa.
I mean, he's been on a roll. Volkov has been on a roll.
Alexander Romanov, as terrible as he was, he did do the initial shot on Volkov, and Volkov stuffed it and smashed the shit out of him. I'm not sure why he was a dog in that fight either. We made a lot of money in that fight.
I mean, listen, Volkov at dog money has been profitable for us.
It's been very profitable. And yeah, I agree. I think Sergey's got to show it to me.
Yes.
And this is just a very well matched fight because we know what Volkov's gonna bring. I think we're gonna see the layers to Sergey's game.
Yeah.
Is he a second round guy?
If he's one dimensional.
If Volkov gets him to the floor, what's he gonna do? But Volkov is just fucking good everywhere. I think this guy is very slept on.
He's like a permanent top 5 guy, in my opinion. Like, he's just so good.
I don't even look at him as a gatekeeper because I think on any given night he can beat any of these guys, including Aspinall. I know Aspinall was able to get him down and I get a straight arm bar on him.
I think it was some arm submission. I can't remember what it was.
I think it was a straight arm bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens again. Aspinall's probably the toughest fight for him. But if he fought John Jones, how does that look? Curtis Blades had a hard time wrestling this guy for 5 rounds.
Speaking of Curtis Blades, I mean, we probably could have known a little more about Sergey if he decided to wrestle. But
correct.
Curtis Blades,
oh man, he fell
in love with the blades.
Yeah,
and then he got bladed.
Bad.
It was a little fucking annoying.
Because we have money on them.
We have money on Curtis Blades. It's like, all right, listen, he's gonna test Sergey here. He's gonna take him down. We about to find out what's going on with this Russian. Nope. This man said, "You reach, I teach."
I tell you what,
dumbass.
like, and that's the thing. Like the progressive development for heavyweights, especially off their back and with the wrestling, like within a couple of years, is incremental relative to like the vast improvements the lighter weight classes make. So I don't see him getting much better than what we got in the Alistair Overeem fight. Maybe better with the takedown defense, but if the fight hits the floor, Volkov, it's going to look like a minus 800.
And I feel like the only way to get better is with ring time. And the problem is this motherfucker just literally can't get out the first round because people just go to sleep.
Correct.
Like his hands are that crazy.
And
his power is that legit.
And he couldn't find Aspinall. But Aspinall is, I'm record right now. I think Aspinall beats John Jones.
Yeah,
he is the best heavyweight in the planet right now.
John Jones. Aspinall had the better footwork in that fight.
Yeah.
Aspinall had the better head movement in the fight.
Made money in that fight too, because that fight was a pick'em.
Yeah.
And we said it. He's gonna knock him out.
And we slammed that KO.
Yeah, he didn't even have to. He didn't even have to really wrestle him.
No.
He knocked him the fuck out, and that's the thing.
Which is unfortunate because again, we're trying to see what the layers are. We want to peel the layers back on this guy, but we don't know.
And what's crazy is we still may not see it in this fight.
Yeah.
Volkov might keep it standing, keep him on the outside with the jab and the teep kick. But I think the success that Sergey has been finding against other opponents, he's not going to find it as quickly against Volkov. He may find it, but it's not going to be as quickly.
Or not as easy for sure.
Not as easy at all. So I'm with you. I like our boy Volkov as a dog shot here. How will we play it? I think we're going to play it because
I got a feeling. Yeah.
I got a feeling we're going to get there.
It's worth a shot, man.
But I'm with you. I think this is value for sure. So Volkov. We'll lean Volkov.
Main event, UFC Riyadh at middleweight for no championship belt. This is actually a pretty decent card, to be honest. It's like an elevated fight. It's a step below pay-per-view, but a step above a regular fight night. And it's because they're doing it in Riyadh. But
yeah.
The main event, we got the Reaper, Robert Whittaker, going one-on-one with not Khamzat Chimaev, but super last minute step in. And we spoke about him last week. We're speaking about him again. Ikram Aliskerov. The Reaper, 25-7, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 33 years old. Aliskerov, 15-1, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 31 years old. Huge step up for Aliskerov, in my opinion. Deservingly so, probably. I mean, this is a good spot for him. I mean, they are in Riyadh. Chimaev was supposed to be here. Chimaev, more and more looks like he's just becoming Mr. Unreliable. I mean, listen, he's been dealing with a lot of health scares. Hopefully he's okay. But in terms of can the UFC trust Chimaev anymore in any kind of huge spots? I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. I don't think he can main event shit.
No, he has to be a co.
He's got to be a co-main.
Yeah, put him on a heavyweight card if it's for a belt. I agree.
Something where he can't be the headliner because, listen, he's already restricted. He can't leave, that side of the world. He's not allowed in the U.S.
Which they're not, divulging into because we have our suspicions.
We have our suspicions. They haven't publicly said anything, but my man has not left that region in the world, and I think it's because of some political ties.
His associations.
But anyway, enough about Chimaev. Aliskerov here. His only loss to Chimaev.
So back to Chimaev. Oh my goodness.
Listen, he's been in the UFC for a couple fights, and in those couple fights, he's been crushing. He's been
doing what he's supposed to do to the guys he's been getting put for the guys that have been the level of competition that's been put in front of him.
Yes, he's been crushing. He's literally finished. He hasn't had a decision in the UFC yet, but now he's taking again a very huge step up, fighting a perennial top 5 guy here, Robert Whittaker, who's only lost to the elite of the elite in this division. Tough fight, man.
Yeah,
tough fight. I'm gonna throw this one to you first. Give me your initial thoughts, my brother.
It's crazy. Thank God for fight footage. I wish we had alcohol because we drink to it right now.
Cheers.
Especially because because PFL is horrid. With their fight footage. I love what they're doing, but we were looking for some footage and we could not find it. But the UFC, you just have so much accessibility to see shit.
I don't want to go on a side rant here, but listen, goddamn it, PFL, please.
Please.
You said you're going to make the Bellator footage available. You haven't yet. It's super hard to find any kind of recent footage on any of your PFL fights. If you want people to be entertained or interested in your fucking side of promotion, please just make the footage available. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just
appeal to the gambling market.
Yeah,
it would help a lot.
Yeah,
it would help a lot to get some background and watch some old fights. It's always good. I mean, look at the fucking WWE network. You can go back
before we were born
to the beginning of time to watch any kind of wrestling because they have the huge ass storage. UFC,
huge ass storage.
UFC Fight Pass and ESPN Plus.
Correct.
That you can get almost every UFC fight available.
And the only reason that we had the Fight Pass as a necessity is because Fox had its stint with the UFC.
Yeah, and also Fight Pass has also got some other footage, like other
Regional
promotions. They got like CFFC,
Cage
Warriors. They used to have Invicta. I mean, they just got a lot of footage, not just UFC related.
Yeah, but we'll
I'm sorry. That was
no, it was great. No, it's great
because get your shit together, please.
Yeah, because honestly, no, it's a great ramp because it's
super necessary.
Absolutely. Like, I hate that we can't find footage.
I want to break down your fights, but it's hard because I gotta fucking scrounge for the footage. Like I'm a raccoon digging in fucking garbage cans, looking for food to eat to survive.
Yeah,
I don't want to survive. I want to flourish. I want you to feed me. Please.
I want to be a bigger raccoon.
I want to be a fat raccoon. I want to be a fat raccoon. Anyway, sorry, ran over. Back to the fight.
But yeah, thank God for fight footage.
Yes,
I seen the fight footage on Ikram, and I remember him being more impressive than what I saw, and that's very important to note here. To be honest, when he was matched up against Khamzat, I think the level of danger was a little higher. Khamzat presented a lot of wrestling, which I'm sure Rob has been working on this camp. But for the first round and a half, 2 rounds, Khamzat's dangerous. I was going to play Rob at plus 200, to be frank. Ikram, smaller than Khamzat, not quicker than or more explosive than Khamzat. Kind of flat-footed at times. Rob Whittaker made the Australian national team, Olympic team for wrestling. Yoel Romero could barely hold this guy down on the takedown attempts. No one's really been able to wrestle Rob down except DDP, and that's because Rob made a mistake overextending. I think this is going to be tough sledding for Ikram. I think it's a very tough fight. You have to determine and ask yourself, is Ikram going to be able to deal with him on the feet? Because I don't think Ikram's going to take him down. And if he does, it's going to be a very lucky shot or a mistake on Rob's part, which Rob doesn't make many of those. I think Rob Whittaker is going to win this fight. I think this is a little too much, too soon. I think Rob is a little too much, too soon for Khamzat. Khamzat hasn't been the same since COVID. And, I'm going to bring that up because it's important. His health scares, ever since COVID, have been real.
Yeah.
Like his body breaks out in hives.
Dude,
like
he looks like he goes life and death anytime he goes sick. That man is in the hospital.
And his
bedridden.
And his breathing, if you notice his breathing issues, they weren't really present before COVID. Even in the second round when he was smashing dudes, he didn't look tired. Now it's like he's almost human. COVID retired Zabit too, essentially, which is terrible because that dude probably could have beaten Volkanovski. He probably could be a champion right now. And I think he could have presented a lot of problems for Topuria, all 3 of the top, Topuria, Volk, and Max. To this fight, I don't think either one of these guys is ready for Rob. They don't have the physicality in my opinion. Well, Khamzat has the physicality.
Ikram possibly could. It just depends, man.
I just don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle him down effectively and hold him down. I think DDP got him in a bad position and was able to use his size to kind of hover above him while getting some wrist ties. Ikram, I don't know how he's going to get in on this guy, especially when we know Rob has been working wrestling the whole camp. It's going to be, I think it's a tough fight for Ikram. I really do. I like Rob in this fight. I don't know how, but I think Rob's going to get it done. What you think?
I'm kind of on your side here. I think Rob is definitely the lean. He's probably going to be the pick. I'm a little more optimistic on Aliskerov, only because Rob really hasn't fought anybody from this side of the world. And even though Aliskerov prefers to strike, he can mix it in. I don't think he has to worry about any kind of wrestling coming from Rob.
Agreed.
And even if he did, he did stuff every one of Khamzat's takedown attempts, which is impressive in it itself.
Very impressive.
If you do like the Aliskerov side, it's probably going to be KO.
Agreed.
Because Rob can get caught.
Might be damaged goods at this point.
Could be.
Because of the chin.
This could be a spot where Aliskerov is catching Rob and just in a right moment.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? A right time. That being said, you're right. He's a little flat-footed. He prefers to strike. Rob's takedown defense is criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated, man.
I do think Aliskerov, I think he could take him down. I predict, like, if you asked me, I think he probably is going to get him down. Now, whether he's going to hold him down, that'd be a different story. Give me Rob here. What's the line on this, by the way? I know it's not Chimaev where we had Rob at plus 200.
Yeah, that was, I thought that was insane.
That was beautiful.
I thought it was insane.
But I think Rob is the slight favorite.
Minus 155 to Aliskerov's plus 130.
That sounds about right. I think that's fairly lined. I think Rob should be the favorite. I think this fight will be close. I think this fight will be competitive. We're going to see Aliskerov not only main event here, go 5 rounds. That's going to be another question mark he's probably going to have to answer. I don't know if he's been 5 rounds before. But give me Rob here. Give me the Reaper. He should get it done. But I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think it's going to be a little more tough than the Chimaev fight would have been. But because Chimaev, I think, definitely would have gassed later on. Not sure if Aliskerov is going to gas later on.
And that's the big question mark too. Like he kind of has that question mark because he doesn't really go to decision. He's only been to decision twice in his whole career, if I'm correct. And that's footage I would have to revisit to see how he looked. But he's not who has he gone to decision with at this level? An elite level fighter. And the thing is, Rob's speed, I think, is going to probably give him some trouble too, because I don't know if he's fought anyone that's as fast as Rob. Like that's the truth. Rob is very quick on the feet and also likes to use that oblique kick. I just think that, like, especially the training camps too, like with the wrestling, how is he not ready for this? Kamzat was going to wrestle him. There's no doubt in my mind.
Does Rob finish?
I don't know, because the uppercut he got caught by Kamzat with was clean. Like, it was in between punches and he didn't see it. I don't know if Rob's going to be the most precise puncher, but Rob doesn't really knock a lot of dudes out. He knocked a lot of dudes out before his championship reign, but since his championship reign, it's been kind of decision or bust, right?
Yeah.
Cannonier went to decision. He broke Cannonier's arm in that fight. Paulo Costa hurt him. He hurt Paulo Costa maybe once in that fight, and they went to decision. By the way, uber durable guys, right? But we haven't really gotten a glimpse of Aliskerov's durability deep in fights. Phil Hawes hurt him before Phil Hawes got murked. But Phil Hawes is a super athlete and super explosive. So I'm not sure how to play this. To be frank.
Yes.
Not yet. It's
I think for the Aliskerov side, if you like it,
I think it has to be knockout.
it's gonna be probably knockout.
Yeah.
Because Rob really hasn't been submitted by anybody. I think he's only got one submission loss, and that was years ago.
Yeah. The only one that's decisioned him is Izzy. And the only one that's like dominated him is DDP. So you have to ask yourself, is he as precise of a striker as Izzy? He's not. Is he as physically imposing as DDP?
I don't
He's
think
not.
so, yeah.
You know, so that's why I'm like, damn, like, this is a slightly easier fight for Rob, in my opinion.
But it could be a sweaty 5-rounder.
Correct.
It could be a sweaty 5-rounder.
Rob, that's the thing. If you can't reliably say Rob's gonna finish him, then we have to take things into consideration, because Rob is a little chinny.
And the longer he leaves this guy in the fight, I think it's the more opportunity for Ikram to land that shot.
If you're asking me gun to the head, I like Rob in this fight. I think Rob, this is a winnable fight for Rob, which is probably why he took it on a week's notice. To be frank, I would have pulled out
Or accepted it. Yeah, you're right.
So we'll see what happens, but Rob's the lead. Don't know how I'm gonna play it.
And that's all we got for UFC Riyadh. Top to bottom, we broke that motherfucker down. Fight by fight. And for everybody who likes to watch this shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you want to skip around. Everything is time-stamped, so don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You could skip to your favorite fight. Skip to the fight you're curious about. Or, you know, maybe if you enjoy the content, just listen to the whole motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Do me a favor, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a wrap. We got nothing else. There's some PFL, but, you know, like I said, you heard the rant before. We ain't really gonna cover it extensively. I still gotta even look. I don't even know who the fucking main event is, but I know there's PFL
on Friday.
The Friday before.
Correct.
We will be making some bets though because we have been fucking hot.
White hot on PFL. So yeah, you respectfully PFL, you put on some good fights. So like
you've been putting on some bettable shit for sure.
Sponsor me. But yeah, it's the only action for next week. For this week rather, PFL and UFC this week, and that's it. There's no boxing. There's not really any big boxing fights or no other really big regional MMA promotion things going on. So
yeah.
But tune in, guys. Follow us on all social media platforms for our bets on PFL. As you already know, like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, man. Stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast. Love you guys. Enjoy the fights this week. Holla at ya. Later.